around for a hairbrush, wrapped in a towel, or, better yet, send XVI down to the station," she added, smirking slightly before making it back to the bathroom to brush her hair in front of a mirror, leaving the door open. "Yeah, but then there won't be any channels."
Vai quickly responded to his sister's suggestion with an insinuation of his own, describing his brother's certain tendencies of questionable morality.
Eeks remained silent, but did laugh at her bigger sibling while combating the hair with the weapon of a hair comb. "I am so bored. I went down to talk to Dad, but he was really busy with a line of clients." "The business is really picking up now," Vi stated, lying on the bed with his back against the headboard. "I am happy for him, though. I think he is really enjoying it down there," Vi said genuinely as he began smiling when recollecting of his father. "I don't think he is enjoying himself, sweetie," Ix had said while exchanging the weapon of comb for the one of a hairdryer. The striking lady was very much correct. Dr. Gray was not a happy panda while inside that lobby. "Oh, we should probably go and help him then." Vi had suddenly sprung up from the bed once the realization was made. "You should for sure," Ix articulated with the hairdryer now blowing. "But I don't think me showing up to the main lobby in a towel would do much in terms of helping him. He already has major problems talking to me as it is." Dykes finished, and she was most certainly correct, as the good doctor was more than just a little gun-shy when it came to communicating with his female creation. Vi had begun to organize himself in order to help his father. However, this effort was curbed as the two brothers had finally made their return from the forest at last. "Someone liberate me from these fucking horses." Extheons was first to speak upon entry with an opener most unusual. "I have heard enough about them for 3 lifetimes over, for fuck's sake," Xaide added while looking at his older brother once he made his full entrance. "What's going on with the horses?" the confused VI inquired of the newcomers. "Fuck horses! That's what's going on with them," Xlite proclaimed, jumping on the bed to lay down nearest the bathroom door. Once the Artifinoid reached the aforementioned position, he noticed his sister drying her hair in the bathroom while in a towel. "You trying to turn me on there, little sister?" Ixthig stated in a tone most seductive. "You know you have to remove the towel for that," he appended, chuckling to himself. Ix opted for the silent route and simply slammed the bathroom door, rolling the eyes and shaking the head at her anomalous sibling moments prior. Skasapans chuckled to himself once more immediately after. "Man, I was hungry, but that might have just spoiled my appetite for at least an hour," the young Fee stated in a sincere tone while positioned directly adjacent to the oldest creation. "Didn't spoil mine," Xexi quickly replied. "I am still hungry for your sister." Xthei drowned in self-satisfaction briefly after making the most recent remark. 2 hours now, Vi swiftly added. "You want to go for 3? I can come up with some more sultry shit." XVI I tortured some physically, yet some emotionally. "No, that's okay." The conceding V, I had said, "I might never be able to eat again if we keep on down this road." Vi returned to the act of preparation so that he could assist his father in the lobby. "I need to go and help Dad anyway," the Artifinoid concluded decisively. "Yes, that would be most optimal, as Dr. Gray does require rest before we depart tomorrow," XXV said, completely unaffected by the most recent sexual talk. "In fact, I should proceed to do the same. We will need to arrive at the dock early in the next couple of days, as it is arranged for us to board the ship before anyone else has a chance to." XXV halted the explanation as he began nearing the bed, while Vi exited the cozy room. Yeah, I get it," Ixty said, beginning to exit the four-legged wooden creation to free up the space to his sibling. However, before making his grand exit out of the room, Expianv neared the closed bathroom door to make yet another attempt. "I am about to leave now, little kitten. You sure you don't want a quickie before I go?" the Artifinoid stated, chuckling to himself yet again. The young woman's voice might have been suppressed by the door, but the fluster deep inside her words most certainly was not. "Go away, you ridiculously perverted maniac," Ix stated, much like a typical sister would to her typically annoying brother, assuming the sister had a ridiculously and maniacally perverted brother. The Yseed laughed, clearly enjoying himself as he turned to XXV before speaking. "Don't worry, we will get her next time." XII's voice flowed with an immense stream of reassurance. "I am not worried about that matter at all, brother," XXV replied, while his voice flowed with an immense stream of neutrality. Xtayan laughed out loud once more with that always-present, maniacal overtone. Shortly after this fit was over, X the Second progressed out of the room, much like his younger brother just moments before. Once V had made his arrival at the lobby, Grey was more than excited to see the youngster. This state of excitement only escalated once Vi told Grey that he would be able to replace the little doctor, finishing his shift for him, so to speak. From doctor to motel clerk to doctor once again, Grey was finally free from the burden. Marcus thanked the giant Artifinoid and left the vicinity of the lobby at speeds quite unmatched. Exthayons had gone on to do what was initially discussed between himself and Grey, which was, of course, a trip to the local bar. This undertaking, surprisingly, had not produced any more casualties, as the Artifinoid became quite content once that flammable, ethanol-based nectar entered his system. Back at the motel room, however, XXV was finished with his 1-hour sleep, whilst his sister elected to forego the rejuvenating slumber altogether. "Qualon orfaer en amri kidu tuofan?" Ix inquired of her brother once she witnessed him wake up. "Sila reviendrate entirement, eu Dr. Grey et expesamf, XXV," answered his sister with rapidity. "Puang sang," creation spouted in disbelief. "Grey, I understand, but why extiand? When he is not busy doing all of the drugs, he is either gawking at me or harassing me." Ix spoke with fervour while pacing around the compact room. "Yes, my brother does enjoy both of those activities as they relate to you, quite so," XXV stated while still inside the bed, lying on his back with his hands clasped and his eyes following his ardent, striding sister around the room. However, he is the only one out of all of us who is capable of resisting the programming. XXV concluded his calm yet stern explanation to his sister, much like a film director to his actress. "That's because Grey messed up his genetic code." A fire burned inside the little bell's heart as she continued to speak on the matter. "Ugh, I don't even know who is more perverted, Grey or Xthai." The young Artifinoid hit 2 birds with 1 stone of deviancy. Dr. Marcus Grey. XXV's response time was almost as fast as the woman whom he was conversing with. "By far," XXV added as the night began to add her presence over the tiny, isolated town. The morning had arrived as the sun escaped the clutches of the night to bless the town lands with its enlivening rays. The 4 children alongside Grey were more than prepared to depart the location of the motel as time was pressing. As was arranged before by the late Dr. Sokolov, the family would be picked up at the local train station to travel from the little Slovenian town to England, where they would then board a cruise liner. departing from London and heading to New York. The train ride itself was a lengthy one, to say the least, a day and a half to be more specific, and during this journey, XVI could be found at the train bar, setting a record for amount of liquor ingested, while XXV spent most of his time with Dr. Marcus Gray discussing matters concerning the artificial creation program, and finally, VI and IX were found roaming the boundaries of the stainless steel machine. Vi found himself devastated by the forces of grand excitement, as this was his very first time on the train. IX, while being a first-timer as well, did not quite share the enthusiasm of her bigger brother, but was more than willing to accompany him in his adventures. And as the duo traversed the halls, an unforeseen encounter betided. "Wow, you are huge!" All of a sudden, from one of the train cabins, a youthful voice resonated. "And you are super hot, damn," the same voice added. One should be able to figure out on their own what comment applied to which artifinoid. "Thank you, little buddy," stated Thies once the culprit behind the unexpected verbal surge was fully evinced. "I know I'm hot," Vi added, striking a quick muscle pose for the youngster. Tss laughed at her older brother before speaking herself. "Yes, thank you, as I know I am huge," the woman said, while clothed in sarcasm. "I am getting huge while looking at you." The kid might have been small, but his confidence was most definitely not. X and V both laughed at the brazen child, shortly after which Ix responded to the little one yet again. "I think we might have found Eckstein's child," Ix said, smiling as she glanced at her brother. "No kidding, this kid got some balls." Vi chuckled, returning the favour of gaze onto his huge sister. "What's your name, little Spo?" Vi inquired of the child in a gentle tone. "Domin, and I am not little. I am 13 years old." Self-confidence might just have been the kid's surname as he talked to the artifinoids. "Well, excuse me, little one. I mean big one," I replied, chuckling to himself, amazed by the teen in front of him. "I will forgive it if you tell me whether your sister is single or not." The 13-year-old was building a tower with the foundation of boldness, with the bricks of confidence, and the roof of charm. Vi burst out with laughter as Ike smiled to herself, enjoying the little one's approach. "I don't think they will let us be together, Mr. Domin." The female artifinoid spoke in a cordial tone. "We are 5 years apart, after all. It is against the law." She concluded with a heartwarming smile. "Girl, I would fight the entirety of law enforcement to get with you." The small one-through game IX's way. VI was finally liberated from the bondage of laughter and had begun speaking once more. "This kid is an animal,"
Vi stated with enough fondness to fill not just the train car, but
"the totality of the mechanical creation. Can we adopt him or something?" Vi glanced at his sister with a gigantic smile across his face. "Well, I would say that would be against the law, but little Buddy here clearly isn't fazed by that," she stated with her arms crossed while reciprocating the tender tone of her brother. "Girl, I was thinking about becoming a doctor, but since I saw you, I am going to become a politician so that I can pass a law stating that you have to date me." The teen reloaded his gun of coquetry with a higher caliber round of praise. VI once again fell victim to the powers of chortle as he listened to the kid flirting with his beautiful sister. "Damn, kid," X stated. Taken aback was one way to describe the woman's reaction. "You must put fertilizer on your testicles or something," Ix added, applauding the kid's resolve. Before the teen could apply more of his flirtatious medicine, however, he had spotted his mother coming back into the train car which the three had been occupying. "Well, I am going to have to go now." The kid's voice was invaded by disappointment. But how about them digits, girl? You want to throw them my way? The teen would not back down while trying to conquer the mountain of beauty that was Ike's. Sorry, sweetie. Ike's words carried kindness as she spoke to the youngster. But I don't think I can handle you. I already have a man in my life who constantly hits on me. Ix finished the sentence while drawing up a blinding smile for the little Don Juan and his efforts as she referenced an artiphenoid who was currently in the act of depleting the train of all of its alcoholic content. Yeah, trust me, kid. Vi had now made his return into the exchange. You wouldn't want to make my older brother jealous, Vi added, smiling at the kid with warmth, much like his sister prior. He would not be able to compete with you, after all. Vi concluded, commending the little one's attempts. Well then, all right, said the kid, capping the confidence as his mother neared. I should go now. The teen began to maneuver himself towards his mom, but while in motion, the little one fired off one last shot of frolic at the little artiphenoid. If you ever change your mind, girl, you know my name, the kid stated as he waved goodbye to the duo. Vi and Ix had both escorted him with their eyes before commencing to communicating once more. Well, that was something, Ike said with her arms still crossed and her character still confused. I'm going to miss that kid, Vi replied to his sister shortly after sighing in minor sorrow. Anyway, we should probably go and check on the other ex-VII. He has been at that bar for a while now, Vi said, starting to head towards the location of the train bar. Yeah, Ix agreed with her brother, starting to follow suit. Can't wait to go from one child hitting on me to another, Ix stated, having still the veil of sarcasm as her main apparel while roasting her older brother with both artiphenoids now in motion inside the steel, 15,000 horsepower beast. Station after station, and town after town the train had passed, and finally the destination was reached. Dr. Marcus Gray had returned to the resplendent city that was London as he ran away from it once and was about to do exactly the same yet again. Familiar streets, familiar sounds, and the oh-so-familiar memories rushed to the little doctor as the family travelled through the majestic metropolis to reach their target. This locale was in fact reached once the automobile pulled up near the entrance to the docks, with the sign Greenwich Pier towering high for all to see. The man's name is Lewis, said the one who had been hired by Sokolov to escort the family members along to the pier in order to make their escape, as all had now exited the vehicle. He is a Frenchman, and he will be waiting for you at the main dock once the crew begins to board the vessel. The man spoke with heavy urgency, coating his words. Thank you, Brandon, Dr. Marcus Gray stated with true sincerity, coating his "You should go now." The unwavering sense of urgency had not left Brandon as he resumed speaking. The boarding procedure will begin soon, the man concluded as he directed the family's vision towards the main dock. We will move at once then, XXV articulated with the family, starting to progress towards the previously discussed location briefly after. The members approached the area of the dock that was mentioned by Brandon, however. Some time had to pass before the contact, the Frenchman Louis, would show up. After a certain interval of time, this arrival did occur as XXV was the first to spot the man exiting the boat, who then carefully scanned the area in hopes of locating those whom he was arranged to help board the liner. Once the family began their move, Louis had his confirmation and had begun to prepare for the early boarding. Quavons nous ICI, the Frenchman proclaimed once he saw Ix heading up the ramp. I didn't realize they are smuggling a model.
The man spoke with allure and a soupçon of lechery while addressing the little artiphenoid.
Ix remained silent, producing a truly awkward smile, not expectant of such remarks and advances. The Artifinoid was trained for many things, but this was hardly one of them. Despite the family had formerly boarded the cruise liner and were situated by Louis at the lower levels of the ship to avoid detection. The ship itself was a marvel. A 9-story-high, beautiful behemoth with a bright orange funnel, a tennis court, a large-sized pool, and multiple bars populating the top floor. The cabins were synonymous with luxury, as bright red curtains sheathed the adorned circular windows, while a plush king-sized bed dominated the confines of the room, with a fancy mirror situated right above the headboard. Well-crafted cabinets, paintings, decorative rugs, expensive television sets were all present inside those very same cabins, with a sturdy sliding door providing the entry to the spacious halls of the metal monster, which were accompanied by many compact lights, producing an illumination of pleasantness. Soothing and ambient music reigned supreme and filled the corridors with a layer of delight as it intertwined with the commotion produced by the passengers boarding the vessel. Not much time was needed for the boarding procedures, and all preparations to be finalized as the 5-second horn blast infected the surroundings with its domineering sonority. The wonderful piece of machinery was in motion at once, however. What might have been even more glorious was the destination of this beast, as the 4 children, alongside Dr. Gray, were officially on their way to the great and auspicious lands of the United States of America.